So here we have, when you open the Photoshop, you will see these two options which can be used to open an image. So when we hit create new, as we can see that there is a lot of options. So we on Photoshop gives itself a lot of like presets which can be used to like create which can be used as canvas to be like easy in some easier way, we can say that. And here we have 1080p cross 1080p, which is pixels, and here are a lot of measurement units which are inches and different a lot of stuff. But for now we are using 1080p cross 1080p with background content having white and sRGB. So we hit create. So yeah, we will get something like this, and this is a clear image of white canvas which we are having, and you will see these things, a lot of different stuffs. Here we have tools, here we have layers like on which we'll work upon. So for example, to understand layers better, let's open something, and this open works as same as anything which you use. It might be like MS Office or MS PowerPoint, like PowerPoint or different things, basic things. So here I have already saved some of the image which we are going to work upon, and I will provide you a set of images which you can work upon too. So if we hit open, it's time for me. And we'll close that thing. So we have this image. It seems pretty right and not having not that problem. But we might, like some of you might feel that it is a bit dull. It shouldn't be. It should be more of dynamic nature. In easier words, like the color should be all more popped out. There are huge sets of ways which using which we can actually do that. But the most natural way, I feel, and it's also felt by most of the people, is actually a selective color method, which we are going to use today. So here we have our set of layers. So first of all, it's advisable to always first of all drag this and put it here with a plus symbol. You can see plus symbol. Just drag it here. In this you will get a copy which is called as background copy or anything, because we have background, so background copy. And you can also do that with using the shortcut which is for here, Control J or Command J. So yeah, and just to rename that, we are going to rename this. Just double click on this and we'll just name it or anything like edit constant. Yeah. So here we have a chunk of such which we can actually use, and this is a layer style. If you hold around the tool which we are going to use, you will see that a name pops up, and actually we are using going to use this, which is adjustment layer, and which will override the image, the layer which we are having, image layer. So we will use selective color, and as you can see, the selective color is at the bottommost, and we hit it. There are a lot of, you'll see, we'll just put it at default because we are not going to change it for now. And yeah, and first of all, the basic idea to boost colors is actually based on graphic theory. We are not going to dig into that, but just remember that you may have heard about printer thing. They have CMY and magenta, and what is CMY is yellow, and RGB is used for our day-to-day life example and different things which we actually use. So they are actually complement to each other. So for red, it is opposite is cyan. Red opposite is cyan. Yellow is CMY. So what is the opposite of yellow? It will be green, RGB and CMY. And similarly, magenta is magenta, and similarly in that same way. I hope you will get that point. So if we can see that this image has a lot of different colors, and most of it is going towards a warm colors, which is more like red, orange and yellow thing. So for increasing red, what are we gonna use actually? So we are actually going to use, for red, we will decrease cyan, RGB and CMY, you get the point. For increasing yellow, CMY, we actually have yellow itself. So we are just going to increase yellow. And for green, it's RGB and CMY, so just decrease yellow just from right to left. And for cyan, just we have cyan, just increase cyan. And similarly, we have blues. For blues, RGB and CMY. So yellow, we'll decrease yellow and we'll get increase our blue. And last but not least, magenta. So just increase magenta. You might not feel like most of you, like some of you or most of you, I don't know. Actually, you might feel that this is not that image, but for that, actually these eyes are not for just like display, it actually works. If you click on this image, because it's locked and we have a layer, actually the layer works that way only. We have a layer on top of the bottom layer, it's not going to be like invisible. And what if we unhide it, all of it? Our like our canvas becomes blank, like transparent. So just open it up, and this is our layer which we actually did. And here we see like what different we actually made. And if so, like it's like excess, it's just going to exceeds your expectation, like it's more than enough, just decrease the opacity from here. Like as the name suggests, opaque, opacity, transparency. As we go to like to the leftmost, we get transparent. That means this like this layer is invisible. So we'll just put it here because I feel that this is enough. And if you want more than 100%, just like as I've told, just make a copy, drag it here and put it on plus. It is multiplied, right? Like 2 copies, and just if you feel opacity increase as per your need or anything. And if you hit, instead of dragging something on plus, we'll just hit on plus, it will give us a new layer and we can do anything on that. And if we like yeah, so first of all, or this is brush tool which we are going to use for, I'm just like using it for example. We did this. So like what's the use of layer is actually we have a new layer which we are actually working on.
Yeah, someone has a doubt. Can you please explain the RGB and CMY relation again? Also,
Okay.
your video is lagging a little bit. Can you turn off your video so the sharing is better?
Yeah, sure. Right.
Thanks.
Thanks. Yeah. Is it better? So actually, I've also downloaded an image to understand that concept. Here we have, actually I was just, the thing which I was talking about is actually red and cyan. You may have seen these colors CMY and RGB. RGB is, this is red, this is green, this is like blue, and this is magenta, the pinkish thing, and cyan is this, the bluish thing, and CMY and yellow, as we can see. Actually RGB is like primary color and CMY is primary color for print object. So we actually there's a like color theory behind it. We are not going to be like going into deep into that because it will be more like a design class, to be honest. So just remember for now that they are complement to each other. Like red, cyan, like as the order suggests, RGB and CMY, just they are complementary to each other. You increase this will get decreased. Just yeah, this is the thing idea. Yeah, I was on layers. So this thing, we created a new layer and we painted this. So like what about like this image is like finesse, or like we are getting, so how we are going to remove this? So we are just hide this. Yeah, we hit this and now we will drag this and delete because it was of no use for us. So that was for example. And with we are done with our color popper. And this was example more of towards the warm colors. And I have another example which is more towards light colors, like cool colors, which have a lot of blue than reds. So then I'll just drag it here or Control J as you want any way. And we'll put on the copy a selective color for RGB. We'll select first red. For increasing red, decrease cyan. For increasing yellow, increase yellow because we have yellow. and green for increase RGB, CMY just decrease yellow, and cyan, we have cyan, we will just increase cyan. And blues, we don't have blue. So what are we going to do is RGB, CMY. So RGB, CMY gives yellow, it will be decreased. And magentas, we have magenta, so just decrease. So we are done. And just to check our effect, we'll use this. It is a subtle effect, it can't be felt, so we'll just make a copy of it, so we can use Control J. So our like effect got amplified. So this is for the natural process to like pop out colors actually. So moving on, yeah, one more thing. What if you want to save this image? So you will just have a ton of example, like ton of options. So you're going to, if you save this, save on your computer, and like the PSD format is actually, it will only get opened on play like Photoshop only, right? So it will get open on, okay. Okay. So it will get only open on Photoshop only. So what will we do is PNG files and JPEG files are like advised, but we use PNG because it's in Photoshop format. PNG are more considered to be editable easily. It can be edited easily. So just hit save, and we'll have a lot of different things. Just large file size, faster saving as the name suggests, and okay. And this gets saved in our folder where we wanted to have it. This will take time depending upon what what intensity of effect you use. For now, next image, and now we are going to work upon drama thing. Yep, similar to this, but not actually same. So what if you have this image? It's pretty cool image and having a lot of things which we want actually, and it's close to perfect. But what if we want to have more of drama? So drama suggests that it is to go towards having highlights like enhanced or popped out, and like shadows and different things, and the color feel warm color and whatever we want. So first of all, as I have told, just make a copy of this, dragging it here and put it on, plus the copy new layer or Control J as you want. And what are we going to do is just have this effects, and here we have effects and adjustment layer. Just put a first of all, this process contains of 3 steps. First is add color and highlights. Second is like camera raw filter, which we'll use as we proceed. And the last but not least is actually decrease, like the highlights changes. So we are going to add color and highlights. For that, we'll use the solid color adjustment layer. If we hit on this adjustment layer, you will see solid color on the top. So we have solid colors. So this is like we got our layer filled with solid color. So what are we going to use is, we want this image to be more of a bright yellow and like a dramatic effect. So what are we going to do is actually use solid color for a bright yellow color, something close to between orange and orangish yellow, right? And we have got our like lower layers got covered, so it might to have it changed, we are going to use blend if. And where can we get blend if? Is actually the layer style. You can either use it from here, the FX symbol which we are having, but actually you can double click here, and here you have your layer style. So on this we will use blend if, which we can find blend option here. Here you have blend if, underlaying layer. So what are we going to use is actually underlaying layer. Is we are going to make changes in this solid color layer, and we are going to just change it a bit. And you can see, let me make it smaller and make, yeah. If you see, When we it's more like experimental thing, you will just understand by using it. This is white part and this is black part. In Photoshop we can get like a fundamental as a mask actually, is like black conceals and white reveals, right? So black conceals mean the underlying layers, like we are having this underlying layer. When we increase blacks, what are we going to do is actually like what are we going to do is actually, in simpler terms, we can see that we are hiding the effect, the solid color effect, and we will decrease until unless we get our upper layer as much as we want, which is close to that. Yeah, we want this only on sky, this effect, and just break it apart by using the, like we will hold alt and click on this layer, and here we got our for smoother transition. Okay, and we are going to change this setting from normal, like these are a bunch of blending options. For now we will focus on like this part. This is actually, you can try it out, and this will just darken the thing, and we are going to for now use soft light, because we want a subtle effect, not that like excess or like contrast, like too rough. We don't want it to be too rough. So you can see, feel that what effect it did actually. You can hide it and we can feel like what it is doing actually, right? A yellowish feel we can get. Similarly, this is not enough. This is actually just a yellow part. Sky has yellow, red and blue colors, a lot of colors. So now we are going to focus on magenta. And what was magenta? Magenta was close to pink color, we can say in simpler terms. So again, follow through, same thing. So we go to adjustment layer, we go to solid color and magenta. Magenta is somewhat here. Yeah, this is enough. So we have magenta, and we'll repeat that same thing. For that, we will use in the effects, if we can use it from here, or better to use it, double tap here. Okay, so again that same thing. For now, because we red thing, if we decrease this, you'll see that here we are having. We'll repeat that same thing and hit alt, like hold alt and click on it.
Prashant,
We'll break what?
Soumya here. Can you just repeat the smoother transition of yellow part again? Everyone is asking for it. Once
Okay,
you're done
okay.
with it, please repeat.
We're
the-
using it same thing again here. Okay, sorry. I think I'm going too fast. So, okay. So we are having this color fill here. We hit on effects and we go to, or now blend if, better to use it here only, double tap. So this is underlying layer. What it does is actually the masking thing, as I have told, black and white like idea. When we do this, from drag this the left hand part of black to white, our underlying layer means the layer which is lower to that layer which we are actually using, or in simpler terms, we are like hiding the effect of color fill. So we decrease this, and actually we want this reddish like this effect only on the sky. So, and using alt, actually if you see this is too harsh, right? If you zoom in, you will see that this is too harsh. So what we actually do is hit alt and click on it. It will break this cursor slider into two pieces, and you see the difference. And we'll just, if we increase this, right, you can feel the effect, the transition. And what if it wasn't like this only? Control J for undo. We are undoing that, and it will be too harsh if it was not broken apart. So just hit OK for now. And what we did actually earlier was same thing, soft light. We have soft light, right? So we have a different feel as compared to before. So when we use this eye, we will see that there's a difference which we have now, which we didn't have earlier actually. So now we have yellow, we have magenta. Now also we can add blue because sky has blue. And also in the moreover, if we see in the evening time, because we are going towards the evening aspect, we can see that the shadows actually have a feel of bluish halo, right? So we'll just add a new layer of solid color, and this will be between purplish, or we can say bluish purple is a better word to explain that. Yeah, we have this, and in that we want this effect to be used on the shadows. So we'll repeat that same thing again. Double tap on the right hand, and we want this effect to be used on shadows. So what we are going to do, as this thing, you can understand the black thing is shadow and white thing is highlight, right? Because any of an image has actually three things. Black is represents shadows, white represents highlights, and midtones. Midtones are the most of the color which we can find. So we'll just decrease it from here. We want this effect on our shadows. So we'll just drag it here, considerable amount, hold Alt, click it up, divide it, and here begin. And now same thing, same idea, use soft light. And what effect it actually did, you can understand it from here. For that we can actually zoom in, which is actually done by Control Plus. And if I use this image, you can understand what I was talking about, evening feed. Better? Yeah. So this is about the first part. This is about adding colors and highlights. So what about first of all, let's group it up. And how to group it up? Let's hold control and keep on clicking on the layers which you want to select. So hold control, select, right click, and you can see group from layers. And you can name anything you want, but actually better to use shortcuts because we actually want to do it faster. So use Control G, and we have group 1. So just name it colors. And how we did how we renamed it, just double tap on the name, and it works the same way as everywhere it works. So now the next part is camera raw filter, which actually creates a massive difference, because we are having this color thing, and this is the color aspect, and if we hide this layer which is actually group, then we will get the understanding what is actually it is being done. What are we actually doing it here? So now the next part is camera raw filter. So camera raw filter actually works as a as a filter, but actually works as a proper layer effect. So if we actually use it on this directly, then we can't change it later on. So what we are going to do is actually hold Control, Alt, Shift, and E. No. So what we just stay on the topmost layer or the group which we are having in a Control, Shift, Alt, E. Yeah. So here we have our image as a and first of all let's convert it into right click on this anywhere in between other than the image, the short thumbnail image, and we'll convert it to smart object. The reason for converting to smart object is actually that the smart object, as the name suggests, has actually use the smart filters only. So whatever effect we are going to use is actually will be done as a smart filter. The smart filters are actually those filters which can be altered later on and on later stages. So, and I was talking about raw filter, where we can get it actually. So, yeah, we'll go to filter. Here we have a list of file, edit, image, and layer type, select, filter. Just go to filter, select the layer on which you want to have the effect. Click on filter, go to camera raw filter, hit it. It's like a large scale effect, so it might take time as it's taking here. Yeah, so here we have our like the camera raw effects which are going to be done. So first of as expected which we wanted to actually do is we have our smart filter. So in basics you can see that we have exposure, contrast, highlight, shadows, whites and blacks. Exposure, we can feel that actually whenever we decrease exposure we get drama. So we decrease exposure, you can feel that what effect it is actually doing here, right? We'll put it here considerable amount, not that much, because or else we'll get a lot of shadows which can be like not required, which will not be required for us. And increase warmth. And how we will increase warmth? By using the temperature color. As I've suggested, this part is cool color, this part is warm color. So we'll just increase the warmth in the image. Second thing which we can use is increase tint. What is tint? Is actually are like RGB and CMYK. Like it feels like a complementary, the added unit. So if we increase or actually increase magenta, you'll feel the effect. What if I drag it to my right? We'll see that we are having a lot of magenta, which we don't want actually. So just have it in considerable amount, somewhat here. So next, we want to decrease highlights because highlights are the glowing parts. As I've suggested, shadows and highlights are opposite. So what we're going to do is actually decrease highlights considerable amount, not that much, because if we decrease it all the way to left, then we'll see like if I zoom in, you will see that there we are getting feathers. Feathers are actually the halo, whitish halo, which get difference between foreground and background. Because it's a 3D image, it has layers in fact. So we'll just have it in a considerable amount, somewhat between 25, minus 25, minus 26. It will do its work actually, and decrease shadows too. What if we do it here? Shadows. Actually decrease like the shadow works as the name suggests. If we decrease it, we are decreasing light in fact. So we are decrease it to considerable amount, which is of our use. And the next thing which we are going to first of all, we are going to the next thing which are whites and blacks are remaining, right? So we have to decrease white as we did with highlights. We need to have this image as what do we say, dark, like evening feel. So we'll just drag it here. You'll feel the effect, but that same effect though as of highlight, the same issue will have it of the halo thing. So what we'll do is have it in a considerable amount between minus 14, or you can feel it this way, and hold Alt and click on it, right? Keep
Shashank,
holding Alt.
can you explain the smart object thing again?
I'll just do it once, right?
Thank you.
Just okay, sure. So we are having Alt and hold Alt and click on whites, and we will increase white or decrease white. But if you see, when I increase white, we are actually having the sun covered up. I am sliding this slider only by holding Alt. So if I leave that, we are having this, right? So it is getting used to like exposed. It is exposing actually the whole image. So we'll just use Alt and then hold it and use the glider. It's enough that it is not too rough for image. And the next part, okay. So next part, what we are having, same as white. As we did for white, we'll actually decrease black by holding Alt. And black, what black does? Black does the shadow thing, as black is for shadows. Just considerable amount between it. Yeah. So we can also, we are having a bunch of options left. We can increase texture, as you can feel. If I increase the whole texture, then you can see. Let's zoom it up. You'll feel it up, right? The whites will get exposed. So we will put it here in between 18 plus 18 or something, and increase clarity too. Just in considerable amount, because actually clarity makes the image to be 2D if we increase it all the way to right. And I think this is all done, but in some of you, actually I was saying some of you are having Photoshop 2018 and previous versions. Actually the Photoshop which is post 2018 is having this additional feature, which is of vibration. So we can increase vibration if you have, and if it doesn't, if you're not having, then it's true, like totally fine. It's not of that much of use. Just increase. It's actually doing the warmth. You'll feel it. Just focus on the sun for a moment. You will see what it's actually doing. Right? Just have it somewhere between yellow, right? And hit OK. This is camera raw filter. This is something different. Yeah. So we have our camera raw filter, and yeah. And about convert raw, why did we actually convert it to smart object? Is if we didn't have it, we are having this feature. Like if we double tap on it. Sorry, on the thumbnail. Or if we double tap on it, we are having this image which we were having earlier. So our actually our image gets preserved before that effect which we used on that. So smart filter, if we didn't use smart filter, then we were not having these options which we are having now. Yes. Here camera raw filter is actually being used as a layer style instead of an effect actually. Yeah. I hope it's clear. And the third, the third step, we are long way. We have come a long way. So what we are going to do is actually add curves. Curves gets its work done on actually the effect, the idea of shadows and highlights and midtones. So just use the adjustment layer, and here we'll see curves. You can see curves. So you will see a bunch of input and output. Here we have highlight, here we have shadows, as I told, and here in between somewhere we have midtone. As the name suggests, the midpoint of somewhere in between. So now we will click on the middle, the midtone thing, and take down midtones. Just see the effect. Right? And click on shadow. If we use this part, this will get it darken it, which we don't want actually. So we'll just hit on this part a considerable amount between midtone and shadow, and we will increase it a bit. And here too, for highlight, we will just increase it a bit. Not that much, just considerable amount. So we have our thing approximately done. And if we want to add more effects, there are a bunch of effects which we can actually use is like the lens flare effect. Like if we want to have a feel that this image is actually clicked from a DSLR camera, but it will be too lengthy, I guess. This is enough for now. So if we feel what it actually did, the curve thing, just click on eye, you will see that this has actually added a feel of warmth, and like the drama which we wanted to actually have. Like the difference between shadows and highlights broadened up a bit, not that much, because we didn't hinder the left and like the top and bottommost points. So here you can see, and this camera raw filter did a huge change. Also about the layer filter, what is actually doing the camera raw filter, like the raw filter which we did, and colors. And while we are when we are like hiding color, why is it like not getting hidden, is actually the fact that we had used the shortcut Control Alt Shift E, which actually comprised all of the image, like the layers which is below of that selected layer. Like if I control like have it done here, Control Alt Shift E, we will get it all done here, like colors, background copy and background will be selected and will be converted into a single like layer. As in some like in easier way we can say it gets merged. So this is, yeah, we are done with this. If we see the effects, here the curves, here we had layers, we had colors, right? Just group it all and Control G, or actually group from layers. You can name it anything you want. Actually what did happen here actually is when we were grouping this up, we had our layers hidden. So just first of all make it visible, select, holding Control, selected, and just group from layers, and okay, anything you want, name it. Yeah, we are done with our image. So this is the second part which we did today, and the last and the shortest thing. I think the time is 8:48, so we can go with the last but not least, the remove anything from background. Like there will be instances that one of your friend is, you can find one of your friend in your images which you don't want to have. So what about in that case? Or if there is a guy named Chintu and his girlfriend is like having a picture and anything comes by, what will we do? So just we have a bunch of selection tools for removing this. If we want to remove this top, this is like a little photo bomber for us in this image. We will have to select it for to remove anything. What we have to do is remove that. First of all, select it, and as I've told, make a layer copy. Because if you like mess it up in this main image, your image will be a mess. Yeah. So we have to select it. In Photoshop, there are a bunch of options through which you can actually select. But for now, we are going to focus on lasso tool, and more easier one is quick quick selection tool, object selection tool, magic wand tool. These are actually based upon AI, and this is more like manual. For now, we are going to use lasso tool. Just zoom it up, Control plus. And how does the lasso tool use? Lasso tool actually works, right? So we, if you use your left, if you are using mouse, then you will see when you click on left, it will get initiated. It will get initiated, and as you draw it, and whenever you leave your mouse, like lift your finger from your mouse, it will get selected automatically, right? So difference between polygon and polygonal, as the name suggests, is more of straight line. It doesn't get affected by using that idea if you lift your finger. Whenever you will find this circle beneath, like below that, that means you have come to your end point. Like the beginning point and end points are same. With this, yeah. So for now we are using lasso tool. Just have a rough selection, not that precise for now, and like this, and we're done. We have this selection, and how to remove that, right? So we can remove it actually by a bunch of options, bunch of tools, but for now we are using a fill option. Just go to edit. You can see fill. You can use shift 5. You can see the shortcut key. Just hit fill. You have white to fill the content. What do you want to fill it with? White, foreground, background colors. Here we have foreground color, background color, right? The color which is in front is foreground color here. You can see my cursor, which is on the left corner. The orange is here our foreground color, and white is our background color. And for now, we are using content aware. Content aware is actually, you can understand it by the reference that it's like an AI tool of Photoshop, which actually analyze the images, like the pixels actually, image pixels which are nearby, and merge it up in the selection area. So just hit OK. And what about the selection? It will keep it will get us in trouble because the selection won't disappear. So we can select on this part, select option. Here you can see deselect, or you can use Control D. Just use deselect. And for we are done with removing that dog. But if you see, I have left that his leg, I guess. So what we are going to do is select this, and again go to edit, fill, content aware, opacity 100, okay, and Control D, or go to select or deselect, but we are going for shortcuts. It's Control D. And what if you want to zoom out? It's Control minus, or Control plus is for zoom in, Control minus is for. And what if we want to fit it to our like the canvas which we're having, the interface? Just hit Control 0. And here we have the dog disappeared. So I guess this is it for now. We can actually use a bunch of tools, which is Pass tool and Clone tool, Clone Stamp tool, which I think we can cover it up tomorrow. Yes, I think that's enough for now. Any questions? Just quickly, I can repeat it. Any questions? Any sort of theoretical, experimental, anything? Okay, how do we invert selections? Clone tool now. Okay. Yeah. First of all, going through we get someone else down. I understand that dog is nice, but we want to, like, it's working as a photo bomber, no? So, ek haath wala thakur. Okay. We will focus on that tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, we can do it tomorrow because we have a time constraint. No? Okay. Can you explain this thing again? Harshita, you're asking for the selection. Please explain the photo bombing thing again. Okay. So we did all these things. How to go back? Just use Control Z. Control Z. Keep it on doing that, and we'll undo. Control J, and we are back at our start. Just make a copy. Control J, or drag it up here. Name it anything which you want. For instance, now you want to have anything like that. And we want to remove that dog. No, it's cute, but you want to remove it, no? Just use it from here, lasso tool, the third one, because any version you're using, the lasso tool will be here only. And you can understand by a lot of idea that these are selection tools in the top. Select it. Rough sketch. It need not to be that precise. And you can go to edit, fill, or shift F5. And in contents, go to content aware, and okay. And then how to deselect that? Select, deselect, or just Control D. Zoom out with Control 0, and we are having that dog disappeared, right? And okay, now Palak is asking how do we invert a selection? So with let's just select anything randomly. I selected this, control 0. I want to invert this. But what I do is go to select, and you will here see inverse. And for the control is shift control I. So shift control I. This we have selected that, excluding that. Right? This way we invert the selection. And for deselecting, just control D. Okay, so actually the thing is that we are just a bit of hurrying up because we don't have that time. Actually, it's more of experimental. The Photoshop is actually more of experimental thing. Just try it out yourself. These tools, basic things. And can you tell clone tool now? Okay, I guess we can do clone tool because we have 3 or 4 minutes. Control Z, I did control Z for now. And where is clone stamp tool? As the name suggests, stamp. Here we have, like below the brush tool. If you hit it, right click on it, you will see the options available in that section. So go to clone stamp tool, select the area, and actually clone stamp tool is actually works like a brush. So while holding Alt, like if you hold Alt, you will see that we are going to have a sample space. Wherever we click, we will get a sample image from here. You can see if I do it, hover it around here, we have that pixels with us. Just for now, control D. We don't want that selection for now. Edit, large. For making it large, we'll use we are done. And that was clone stamp tool for you. To make the layer 1 again for smart object. Okay, for making we can make actually smart object here only, like this, which we have edited, which we have removed the dog from. Just hit on this thumbnail, right click on it, you will see a bunch of stuff, but it's actually thumbnail thing. Whenever you have to use the smart filter, always click on the layer instead of image. Right click, you will see convert to smart object. Just one thing you can do is, if I had an adjustment like effect, let's see that, go to filter, and what we did actually, we can use, you can see a different options, blur gallery and different things. For now just blur, go to any blur which you want, just to explain what is smart filter actually is. Gaussian blur is more like surface blur. If you just increase it anything, we'll focus on that tomorrow for sure. And here we got our image list. So if we had smart filter, we'll get an option here to actually disable it. So just do it, control Z for now, and for now we'll convert it into smart object. We did it, we have converted into smart object, and just go to filter for now again and apply that same effect, which is Gaussian blur, which was Gaussian blur actually, right? And we are having we have converted that blur into smart filter, so we can actually manipulate it from here instead of going back or our image is ruined or anything. We can actually disable it from here only, right? So this works this way. And what if we want to delete it? Just hit right click on it, disable smart filter, delete smart filter mask or anything. Disable smart filter is actually disables it, and delete filter mask and clear smart filters. Yeah, that's it. That was smart filter for you. Can you tell how to make the layer 1 again for smart object? Actually prepared. What if an object half sky and half sand background? Okay. If we had someone here like this part, for now, yeah. remove it from smart object for now, because smart filters, smart objects are like we make smart convert anything into smart object only to have effects on. If we convert anything into smart object, we can't actually use it for brush or anything like that. So Control Z, and we want it display. I have a new copy for now. If half sky and half like here we have half sky and half sea. For that like condition, we'll have to go like Alt and select the region. You will see we have selected that pixel. You can see now. So if you want to like paste it here, just see the best possible place, table place. Hit it. Yeah, that. And what is in Word doing? Okay, why shouldn't be every layer with yeah? As I've said, as I've told, like why shouldn't every layer be with a smart filter? Smart filter is actually, as I've told, is only for works only for effect. So we are not going to convert everything to smart filter. As you have seen, when I had this smart filter, actually this thing gets like we can't actually use it for other things. We can't use tools. We can actually only use filter or filter effect. So that's the reason we don't convert every like layer into a smart filter or smart object. Yeah. And we what's yes interest. Is it okay? Any more questions? No. Am I audible?
Yes, Prashant.
Okay. I'm audible now. So any more questions? If you want, you can ask. I don't know.
Can we like shift an object in the image somewhere else? Like the dog was in the sand part. Can it go to the beach?
Okay, means you want to select it, means copy it and put it in somewhere else, no?
Yeah.
Okay. So and why I actually made the copy for these things to save our main image. So just deselect it. If you want to delete all these, just hold Control and select the layers which you want to delete and hit this button, dustbin, like a bean. If you want to actually have this dog, this will require precise selection. For that, we should actually use magnetic lasso tool or polygonal lasso tool. But here magnetic lasso tool can't work properly because our subject, which is this dog, and the background is like of similar texture, or we can say similar color scheme. So instead of that, we can actually use our AI tool, which is object selection tool. And what this will do is hold your left click and go to the last part that you want, and let's see what AI will do. Just leave it here and lift your finger. You can see this is not the perfect selection which we wanted, so we can add it up with a bit of our own and polygonal lasso tool. You can see that we have this, and we want to add like this selection because this is a part of dog's legs too. So hold shift. You can see that when I hold shift, we get plus. When I hold alt, we will get minus. So minus and plus are like, as you can understand, plus is for adding selection to it, more selection. So just hit it here. I'm just going through rough selection for now because this requires time and back to that. This is like additional part which we didn't want. This is the same way which we can do in this. Yeah. So this is rough selection and Control 0 to go out. Okay. Yeah, Control 0 and Control C, and that's the same shortcut key, Control C and Control V. Control C, go to, wanted to have it Control V. Where is that dock? You can see this tiny image. This actually happens because of the resolution of images. The difference, as the PPI thing which I've told, is actually this happens due to that thing only. And if you want to increase its size, just go to edit and like image, edit and free transform. For that actually we use Control T. Control, select the layer which you want to increase and Control T. And you will see it's stuck up. So you will see this tick mark, like the tick mark, just hit it and Control Z. We have increased the size of our dog and place it up here, and we can do different things with that as we proceed. We can add like highlights. We can change the color grading of this dog as per our background, and we can also add highlights like shadows, and like the color grading means this feel of this image, and this is too different here, so we can actually do it in our later stages. Yeah.